James Ernest, the Grueling Truth, here with Thomas Treiber about all his great announcing experiences. So, Thomas, what sports did you play growing up?
Pardon me, what was that again?
What sports did you play growing up?
Growing up, I was, typical kid. I played a lot of different sports. I grew up in Northwest Indiana, which is just outside Chicago. Soccer, baseball, basketball, and track. I really played a lot of different sports. I didn't go into sports in high school, though. That was just in junior high, and picked up bodybuilding, actually, when I was in high school, and competed in bodybuilding. So, but that was my youth right there.
Did you ever go to the Arnold?
I did. I actually went to, I believe it was the first Arnold Classic in Columbus, and it was a great experience. Got my photo with Arnold, and it was a lot of fun to get to see all the different bodybuilders that I was, admiring in the magazines. And so, yes, I believe it was the first Arnold Classic.
Wow, that is awesome. Yeah.
Yeah,
that thing's
I was
been
only
going for
about
a bit.
15 years old, I think.
Yeah, because the event is spread so big nowadays. They have like 80 different sports. It's really amazing what they've done with that. So you had mentioned that you did the bodybuilding. How long were you into that for?
I started lifting weights when I was about 14, and then I competed at 19. And then once, I started pursuing my announcing career more, I started to just, do it as just a hobby, not taking it as serious to compete, to be at that level. I kind of knew that really wasn't my future. And what a lot of people don't know is actually after I bodybuilded, I had a very short professional wrestling career. When I started ring announcing, I worked a lot in pro wrestling. And it was then that I got the opportunity to train under some of the wrestlers and had a very brief professional wrestling career. It was just something I wanted to try, and a lot of people were encouraging me from, my bodybuilding background. They thought it was a good transition. And but I knew ultimately ring announcing was what I wanted to do.
So who did you train under?
I trained under a guy named Don Bratton. That's his real name. His stage name was Dirty Don, and we were both lived in the same town in Northwest Indiana, and he had been trained by a guy named Eli the Eliminator. Some may know him from the early 80s to mid-80s. He wrestled in the UWF. I don't know if you were a wrestling fan growing up at all, but Eli the Eliminator, made a bit of a name for himself. And it was a great opportunity for me and something I wanted to try.
Nice. So yeah, I agree with you. That's one of those type of things where it seems like a natural transition. So how did you transition to announcing?
Well, I actually started ring announcing my senior year of high school. A friend of mine became a professional boxer, and I was already interested in broadcasting. I emceed our talent shows my junior and senior year. And then my senior year, my friend's brother was going to be boxing. And I said, wow, I need to look into this. And just got the idea. And I asked my friend to speak with his brother, who I had known as well. And he connected me with a local promoter. And the promoter gave me an opportunity to start doing his fights locally. And then I started to travel, and then as I continued doing it, I started getting television work. And in 1995, I did my very first nationally televised event on ESPN, and I've never looked back since then.
Nice. Any advice for young people that are wanting to start in the announcing business?
Well, there's a lot more opportunity now than there was when I started, because in 1991, there really wasn't the presence of MMA. And so you were really relegated to either boxing or pro wrestling, or, maybe some kickboxing events. But it was really tough. There was not as many events going on. So if I have any advice, I mean, it's really, if you want to do it seriously, I would really, pay attention to some of the top ring announcers, learn how to do all the decisions properly, focus on good pronunciation, try and look the part, wear a nice suit, nice tuxedo, and really just try and get as much work as you can, because the more you do it, the better you're going to get.
So, any advice on working with the Kardashians?
All right, I see you've been digging up some of my past. Yeah, you know what? That was a great opportunity. It was a lot of fun. I was doing some work for a promoter out in California area, and they were contacted about helping promote a charity event with the Kardashian family to air on their TV series. And I was lucky enough to get the opportunity, and it was great exposure. I mean, that show aired for years after I did it. We shot it in December of 2010. It aired in like mid-January. I'm sorry, we did it in December of 2009. It aired in it originally aired in like January of 2010, and that thing aired for years and years and years. And no, it was really fun. It was very interesting because at the time I was watching the show just like everyone else. And so to actually be there and be around the family, they were actually very pleasant. They were very nice to me, and never would have thought that would have happened. So that's one of the cool or neat things about being involved in the entertainment world is you never know who you're going to meet or what kind of opportunities might come your way.
What are some of the other more exciting things to happen during an event that you worked?
What are some of the more exciting things to happen?
Mm-hmm.
Well, I mean, for me, whenever there's a good, energetic crowd, I mean, that to me brings just that extra level of excitement. I just did the Carl Frampton fight in Belfast, Northern Ireland a couple weeks ago, and 20,000 fans and in the UK, the fans, they really get into it, and they have all these songs that they like to sing, and it brings that, that ambiance of just excitement. So for me, that's really a lot of fun. And, of course, great competitive fights are always fun to watch. But we always enjoy that knockout as well. That quick knockout sometimes can be just as fun to see. But, that's one of the reasons I'm really excited about working in the UK now and being part of Frank Warren's company. I mean, they've been one of the, if not the elite promotions in the UK. They're based in London, and such an honor to be part of their events with this new series. It's on BT Sport. For anyone listening in the UK, we're on BT Sport. And also the fight I'm doing this Saturday, by the way, I just found out will be airing on the Showtime Network's Facebook page and also on the Showtime Network website. So you can see the show I'm doing this Saturday in London on the Showtime website and Facebook page.
Nice. That's always amazing how they're embracing social media nowadays and incorporating that into some of their programming.
It is. I mean, it's a completely different world than when I started ring announcing in the early 90s. Now you have to be part of Facebook, Twitter, Instagram, and that's how we connected, was on social media. And it's great because you're more accessible to people, where back in the day, if you didn't have their phone number or knew somebody that had their phone number, I mean, it was very hard to get in touch with people. So I try to be part of it. I'm a little old school. I'm not the kind of guy that's constantly on social media, but I do my best to have some type of presence.
I know what you mean. We just launched a collectible card show, and one of the packs that they opened was an MMA pack on the show, and on the back of it had the Twitter account and what was the other one? The Instagram for the fighters. So, like you said, I mean, nowadays, that you can be in touch with your favorite fighters, you can learn about them. I mean, it's unbelievable. Yeah, the type of access
really
that
is.
fans have nowadays. So, what do you credit your longevity with?
Well, I credit my longevity with having a passion for it. It's something I really enjoy to do, and I've never wanted to quit. It's been a roller coaster ride, just like anyone who's involved in entertainment, sports entertainment. There's been good years and bad years, but when it's something you truly love, when it's something you truly enjoy, you just want to keep doing it against all odds. And I've been fortunate to have above average success doing it that has even given me that extra, motivation. And I've been doing it now for 26 years. As I mentioned earlier, in '95, I made my debut on ESPN, and since then, I've worked on every major network there is. I also appear regularly on Showtime. If anybody watches the series Showbox, The New Generation, that's somewhere they may have seen me. So, just really, to answer that question simply, would be just a passion for what I do.
Do you have, is there like a preference, or is there any differences between the sports in, just how you prep or how the events run?
Yeah, when I do MMA, when I do boxing, when I do pro wrestling, I mean, certainly there's different things you have to tweak and change up. When you do MMA or pro wrestling, your introductions, sometimes you need a little more extra power behind your introductions than maybe with boxing, and you just really have to kind of turn the switch and get into that mode for that particular sport. But I embrace and enjoy all the different sports. I enjoy one-on-one combat sports, so whether it's pro wrestling, boxing, MMA, kickboxing. I actually did a Muay Thai event not long ago in Arizona. And again, the fans, being part of a live event to me. I tried radio about a decade ago, and I enjoyed it, but I didn't feel at home because I was so used to working in front of a live crowd, and that's what I really enjoy.
I agree with you. The atmosphere just adds so much to the event.
It does.
So if there's someone listening that wants to book you for an event or, to announce, how would they go about doing that?
Well, it's really easy. I'm on Facebook, so you can look me up. It's Thomas Treiber, and that's Treiber. Or you can contact me through I also have a website where all my contact information is on there, which is www.thomastreiber.com. I'm also on Twitter. My handle is @ThomasTreiber, and on Instagram as well. So, as we were talking earlier, there's many ways to reach people these days, and all my contact information is on those social media outlets. So I always welcome opportunity. I like to work every weekend. I'm not what they call a weekend warrior, where you have another job and this is maybe just a hobby. I mean, this is my career. So I always welcome any opportunities, and would love to hear from anyone. Look me up.
Excellent. Who would you like to thank for your success?
Well, first and foremost, obviously my family. They've been very supportive in helping me and being understanding of, my dreams and my goals, and great friends, and, many people in the industry that have assisted me with advice and being there when I need them. So just a multitude of people, and and obviously our good Lord Jesus Christ. He's always been in my corner, and very thankful. I have been able to do things I never thought I would ever be able to do, and I really hope it continues for many, many more years.
Excellent. Before you go, could you tell us about that big fight that's coming up this weekend, and Like you said,
Yeah.
Showtime that they can view it on?
Yes, it'll be actually on the Showtime Network's Facebook page and on the Showtime Network website. But the show we're doing is actually going to be in London, England, and it's going to air on a network called BT Sport, which is available to people in the UK. And it's a great, great show presented by Frank Warren. The main event is actually an IBF super middleweight world title fight between James DeGale, who's from London, against a American from Minnesota, Caleb Truax. And that's going to be the main event. And then there's also our co-main event, if you want to call it that. Really, there's two main events. Is also a IBF world title fight. That one's in the featherweight division. Lee Selby from Wales will be defending his title against a gentleman named Eduardo Ramirez from Mexico. So those are our two main events. And there's also an interesting heavyweight fight. This is a name you're going to want to look out for, James. This is an undefeated heavyweight guy named Daniel Dubois. He's 5-0 right now, all by knockout. And Daniel's about 6'5", probably a good 250 pounds, and he's got real power, dangerous power. And he's going to be continuing his road also on Saturday night. And then there's a gentleman named Anthony Yard, another up-and-coming fighter in the light heavyweight division, and he'll be fighting a guy from Montenegro. So a great card. Frank Warren, and not just because I work for them, but I've always admired their shows. Always great matchups and top-of-the-line fights.
Yeah, it sounds like an amazing event. Definitely fans should check that out, and we would love to have you back on in the future to discuss other fights and other events. Thank you, Tom.
Well, I appreciate that. I welcome that opportunity. It's great to be here on The Grueling Truth, and James, I really appreciate you reaching out and showing interest, and I hope you and everyone listening has a great holiday season.